Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure, I've had some better times. And I can't count all the tears I could write. And maybe down my list. Yeah, but the blues to me just fine.
Need to get done.
It says 10 o'clock. It looks like 10 o'clock. It says we're going. All right, we're going to have to get some confirmation.
Radio Land.
Confirmation from some people. Let me go over here to the little mystery machine on my phone. And it says, dump to conversations. We'll go to KGXT radio. And there we are. All right. So now then I can see if something comes up there. I can respond to it. I hope staff will let us know if they can hear us correctly. Good morning, wife.
Good morning. It's Thursday.
It is Thursday. I can't tell you how fast. I mean, they always say when you get older, time flies.
Yes.
I get that.
How many times did we hear that?
Well,
a lot.
I hated that as a kid because you're bored and you're sitting there looking out we didn't start with the intro.
You didn't start with the intro.
Okay, you didn't nag me and remind me.
Would you start the intro? Would
There
you
we
get
go.
the intro going? Come on, start
Welcome
it.
to the KGXT podcast, broadcasting from the KGXT studios, 200 feet below occupied California. That's right, behind enemy lines. That's where we
Okay,
are.
so were you told when you were younger that time flies?
Funny you should ask. I figured it out early on in life, though. When I was
Really?
when I
you
was
were
30.
super smart?
Yeah, when I was 30,
Oh,
I
okay.
figured it out by the time I got 30, early on in life. What that was, when you're sitting there and you're laying on the living room floor of your house, staring at the ceiling. and
Where's
you're-
my friends?
Yeah.
There's nothing to do. You have a
No.
whole room of toys.
And then-
I'm so bored.
Right. And then 2 hours go by and you look at the clock and 5 minutes have gone by. You're like, I'm still bored. There's still nothing to do. Aha. But then when you get older,
Oh,
there
God.
is so much to do.
There's not 24 hours.
No,
There's not
there's-
enough time in a day.
No. And you start thinking, I got to do this and I got to do that. So you start on project 1 and you're thinking about project 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think I want to go back to being a little kid.
You're thinking about responsibility 9, 10, 11, and 12. As you're doing project 1 and you get done with project 1, you go to move on to project 2. There's no time and you haven't taken care of any of the responsibilities. And you're like, oh my God. And time just, because your mind is always going. And time just, you're just
Like
out of
I
it.
said, I want to go back to being 8. No care in the world. Let my parents take care of everything.
8 years old. I would go back to being 8. I would. I'd go back
That
to
was
being
such
8
a
years
good
old.
time.
It's right when we moved to Van Nuys and on Allott Street, Allott. We played baseball on the corner of Allott and Stagg were the two streets.
I think I swam all summer long, whether
Yeah.
by myself or I ran around the neighborhood and grabbed everybody that I knew was home.
Were you allowed to swim by yourself?
No.
I was not.
No
I was
way.
never allowed to go. You don't go in that pool, along with the rule of don't go in until after you've eaten for 20 minutes because you'll get cramps.
Yeah, but I also told you that my mom didn't know how to swim, and I didn't know that till I was an adult. My mom would be home, and all my friends and myself would be in the pool. I'm assuming my mom knows how to swim.
Well, sure. That's why she would tell you, you can't go swimming till I'm out there to watch you. What for? you learned later
She's not going to do shit.
She can't. What is she going to hand you? The pool brush or the skimmer? Grab
She
this.
wouldn't even get near the pool.
Well-
that just cracked. I'm like, okay. And we lived without a gate around our pool. Isn't that amazing?
That would have been the question to ask her as an adult. Say, why? When you got to be an adult, look back and ask your mother, why was it I couldn't go swimming without you around? You didn't know how to swim.
I was
What's the difference?
dumbfounded when she told me that. But we survived with the threat of don't you go into the pool without anybody there.
Well, and
we would be dead.
Yeah, and the other one was the 20-minute after eating rule. Boy,
Oh yeah, that used to crack
you
me
need
up.
to unplug your camera and plug it back in again. It's really jiving up here on the video part.
Oh.
See if it comes back for you. I can carry the show until then.
What? I can't be on the show with without a camera.
No.
Radio doesn't matter. They don't care.
It does matter. The video portion of the program is something to love and behold.
Oh, my camera is shot, man.
Yeah, man, that's bad.
Let me unplug it again. But
well, leave it unplugged for a minute this time.
anyways,
Yeah, go ahead.
summers were always fun. But yeah, I can't remember. I was trying to remember the first time my parents left me home for the summer. I'm going to say probably junior high. Probably.
Left you home for the summer?
Yeah, my parents would go to work. I was home all day by myself.
Oh, okay. I thought like you were alone all summer. I'm like, wait a second.
No, because I went to day camp when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to say junior high. My dad worked down the street, at Lockheed.
Yeah, I never had to go to day camp because there was always relatives or my mom was home a lot. I mean, okay, for those of you listening and watching right now, we lost about 4 minutes of recording when the computer froze up and locked up. We had to restart everything. So the continuity may be a little confusing, but be patient. It'll all get back on track. Thank you. Live here, and then we're recording there. Anyway, so while we're setting this back up again, for those of you for your dancing and listening pleasure, I don't know how much you heard. I think the radio station got everything. I think KGXT Radio had no problems, and you guys were hearing everything clear and firsthand. It was the recording on the pod track and through Streamlabs, recording the video portion of this that was messing up really bad. But yeah, the kid, he does know how to do basic electrical. It's not real tough. We've done it for years now with him, but getting him to focus on this stuff is becoming a Greek tragedy. Watching him go through this. So that's become an issue. So when you're trying to get things moving in that direction, it's always tough. Are you on 3?
Yep, 3.
Okay, you're on.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
So, something crazy is I was working on this outlet in the kitchen. I didn't know I was working on the pool. According to the breaker, I was working on the pool. So,
You're reading the breaker.
shout out to 2007 Gen X Dad.
I would never have labeled a pool outlet for a kitchen outlet pool.
I think what you did was mixed up oven and pool because they're both like the big multi-breakers, and I think they're mixed up.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
You marked pool.
that is not something I would mess up.
Oh, it's wrong.
It's not wrong.
Yes, it is.
You guys are reading stuff wrong.
Totally messed up.
No.
You maybe had to hit the...
Labeled wrong.
It's not
Labeled
labeled
wrong.
wrong. No, it's
and
not.
guess whose writing it is? Yours.
Of course it's mine. No one writes on my breaker box but me.
Yeah, well, I just wrote on it.
You're not in frame. You got to straighten your camera out a little bit.
You know
there.
what? You just worry about yourself.
Now let's worry about this one. Let's do this side by side. Do over here. Split screen. We're better there. Good too. All right. So
Unbelievable.
look, if you got it figured out, that's all that's important.
Why don't you get your ass out of that chair and go figure it out?
Because I can't do everything around here. I can't be the guy
Welcome to
setting
my
all
world.
this stuff up and be the guy going out and doing the breaker and be the guy fixing the electrical.
Welcome to my world.
No, you're not doing everything. You just said, why don't I go do? Because I can't. I can't be everywhere at once. I couldn't leave you in here to do this. So you had to go out there. Hence your question. Why didn't I go? Because you can't do this.
That was happening way before the podcast started.
What was?
The electrical thing.
Because he's working for us today. He needed something to do.
Oh my gosh.
He says, I'm working for you guys today. What do you got for me? I said, well, you can fix that outlet in the kitchen while we're doing the podcast.
Okay, so let's start over or not start over. What are we doing?
Well, let's start from here. What were we talking about?
Why don't you just do let's start all over?
No, I don't want to go back over that. I'll edit that in, whatever's there.
We were talking about Marcy.
We're talking about well, yes. Now we're getting caught up here. We'll go back to Marcy Zaval. Let me explain for the audience who didn't hear, who can't. If the recording comes through all garbled and wrong, and up, even if the pictures were bad, it's a little bit of work, not too much, to get everything set up to record here in the studio when we do the podcast. We get the Streamlabs up and the cameras up, make sure it's recording. Got the pod track up, got the card in there, the SD card, make sure it's recording. And then we turn on the butt, and the butt lets it go to kgxtradio.com. We get everything going. We get the cameras focused. We get everything where it's supposed to be. And then we begin. It's not a huge process, but it takes a little time. And then as we're doing this, the kid shuts off the breaker and the whole studio goes dark. So when I pressed the button and, the lights came back on, of course, when I pressed the button for the Mac to come back up, I should have let it come back up, and I should have shut it down, correctly with the buttons to click the shutdown, let it go through its shutdown procedure, and then bring it back up. But we had 2 minutes to go before showtime. 2 minutes. So I just went for it. And of course, nothing booted up correctly. Everything was wrong. So in hindsight, I should have just shut it down, that we would have just started a couple minutes late instead of interrupting the show 4 minutes in. Anyway, then we went on to talk about Marcy. And it was kind of making fun of my wife a little bit because she says, okay, the other day you said, I'm just gonna cut out gluten. I'm gonna watch what I eat. I'm tired of this, pain and on because, we'd gone forever trying to figure out, what was causing all these pain issues for 10 years. Then Marcy Zavala comes along and does this massive big test, and she puts her keen eye to it, and she says, here's what you need to do. And lo and behold, within 3 or 4 months, all of your pain's gone. Except for your lower back pain, which we know that's just like a muscle you pulled. All your pain's gone. So then you start, like we all do, you start cheating.
Yeah, but we were also traveling too. I mean, that's when you fall off the wagon when you travel.
Right.
And we weren't eating really well. And I could feel it, like feeling so good for months. And then when you start deviating off the schedule, you feel I feel like I put bad gas in my body. Like I'm chugging along, like I put really bad gas. That's how I feel. I'm not energized.
You got to a point where you just said, like 2 days ago, you just go, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. I'm going back. Now, I was expecting you to say, that's it. I'm going back on Marcy's plan. I'm sticking to her notes. And you said, I'm going to go back and fix no more gluten, watching my sugar. I mean, I'm like, you could give Marcy a little credit here. She was on the right path. You got you going.
She was totally right. I'm the one failing the project here.
Yeah, I'm just asking, are you getting back on your plan, or are you getting back on Marcy's plan?
Well, I'm on her. Her plan is my plan. That's what it is. Her plan is my plan.
Oh my God, what a cheesy way to get out of that one. So that was the truth. The other one was that you mentioned when you go out of town, you eat terribly. And we normally do. I mean, let's face it, if we're trying to get someplace and it's 6 or 8 hours away, we don't stop and go into a restaurant.
No.
We don't bring a lot of prepared sandwiches with us. We just go through a drive-thru, grab some grub, and keep going. I got that. But if that's the only thing I'm doing wrong, I'm okay.
Yeah, you just have to make better choices on the drive-thru situation.
Yeah, a little bit. And not that there is any better ones, because I was talking to Dr. McDreamy. This was years ago. I was talking to Dr. McDreamy about it. And I think if I remember the conversation right, while he agreed, there were probably the less horrible versions of fast food. They were all horrible. He says, I said, isn't Taco Bell better than, Wiener Schnitzel or Arby's or something? And he's like, yeah, I guess a little. I mean, the whole thing was that it was bad. All of it was bad. None of it was good. So, but I guess if you really want to get technical, there's probably degrees of worse in that.
But I think, what's coming around is like the gas station stops. You know how many people run in there and grab like a snack, but they have beef jerky now and like power bars or protein bars or whatever you want to call it. They're coming up with better options. I mean,
well, and we always stop the same way. When we're on the road and I stop, it's get gas, go to the bathroom, and get food all in one stop if you can.
Yeah.
And if you can't, the food place better be right next to the gas station. I mean, I want in and out of this procedure, bathroom, gas, and food, 15, 20 minutes. I want to be back on the goddamn road.
just have to make better selections when I go into those markets. That's all. I mean, I usually pick some beef jerky. That really sustains me for a while.
Well, and going back to the on the road thing, that's where I was getting to with this, is that you say, you make worse choices on the road. And I think we all do. I know I do. But I lose weight when we go on the road. Every time.
We're active.
Yeah, I lose weight every time. I mean, I watch what I eat. I'm not trying to eat bad, but there isn't one vacation or one thing we've had to go do that I've gained weight because I'm walking. Those hotel rooms are far from the casinos, or the parking lots are far from the events, and I walk. and I lose weight.
And we don't snack all day either.
Yeah, I walk, and every time we go somewhere, the longer we're gone, the more weight I lose. That's me.
Well, then we better take off for months.
That's right. We got to be gone forever. In fact, we shouldn't come back until I've lost 100 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Just skip the world. See ya, world. We'll be back later.
I will tell you this, with all of the eating good, eating bad, walking days, not walking days, I figured I had gained like 7 pounds over the past month. And I weighed myself this morning, and I was right. I was actually 1.5 pounds lower than the last time I weighed myself.
Oh, that's
so
really
I
good.
snuck on the Fat Guy website, and I wrote it up real quick. Not that anybody goes there anymore, but
Oh, you have a few that are watching.
yeah, at the bottom of genxtalks.com, you go to the Fat Guy page, a little link at the very bottom, Fat Guy page, and that's where I have been updating what I've been doing.
I'm glad you lost. But you know what? I would love to see if you walked more every day, how much you would lose in like a week. I really would.
Okay,
I'd love
so
to see that.
Let's ask the audience here. There's a little bit of your vanity, and you have no vanity at all.
My vanity?
Yeah, none at all. But this one you do a little bit. I know that it's hard for me to walk unless I'm pushing that wheelchair. I don't want to ride in the wheelchair. I just want to lean on it. I will walk. If I walk without my wheelchair, it hurts like a mother. It hurts my hips so bad. If I walk with it, I can walk until a knee gives out or something. I'm fine. But I've learned that I have to walk with the wheelchair. Look at all the times you walk through the casinos and hallways. I just push the wheelchair.
Okay, what's the point?
I said, if we're at home, I want to walk with the wheelchair. And I thought, why don't you sit in the wheelchair and I'll push you down the street to the mailbox?
That has nothing to do with vanity.
Yes, it is, because you said people would see you.
No, I'm worried about us walking down there and you going, I can't walk back. Then I have to push your ass in the wheelchair
Oh, for
all the
God's
way
sake.
home.
That's what you're worried about?
Yeah, that's not
Then
fun.
just have me sit in the wheelchair till I feel better. Big deal.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't
no,
know.
you would never do that. You would be there going, get me home, get me home,
Oh,
get
bullshit.
me home right now. Bullshit.
No, I don't want people to see me being pushed in the street. I will walk, damn it.
Oh, no, you won't.
I will walk.
You
but
lie.
you know what you did. You didn't want people, you didn't want
I
the
don't care.
neighbors.
If you want to do it after this podcast, I will gladly go sit in the wheelchair and you can push my fat ass down the street.
I have been asking you for days and you've been saying, well, let me
You know
think
what?
about
Then
it.
let's do it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. When I put you on spot
God,
like this,
you think it's vanity? I don't
is.
give
You-
a shit what people see.
then why didn't you just say yes? Let me push you down the
my
fucking street.
gosh.
This is your husband trying to lose weight saying,
Fine, let's
I
do it.
will walk down the street, and you going, well,
Game on.
I don't know.
Challenge accepted.
I didn't say, can I push you to a fast food restaurant or to get an ice cream? I said, let's just go
my
get the mail and
gosh.
back.
Let's go.
Oh my, ladies and gentlemen, I submit this as evidence to the jury. She's out of her
Full of
goddamn
shit.
mind.
No,
She is
so
not.
full of shit. Just throwing me under the bus. Just go
Because
ahead.
you told me no. Well, I'm not.
Whatever.
You know who agrees with me right now? Dr. McDreamy's going, yep, that sounds like something she'd do.
Oh, bullshit.
No, he knows. He knows without a doubt it's something you do.
Oh my gosh. No, I don't think so.
Speaking of Dr. McDreamy and MarcyZavala.com, we talked about being in Reno a little bit on the other podcast with
my brother.
with your brother coming in and
My
kicking us out. Last week's podcast was
For
funny.
somebody that's so anti-social media.
Yeah, he comes with a
What?
broom in the middle of our video live stream and goes, "Get out."
He doesn't like his cell phone. He doesn't like his computer.
No.
But yet, he'll be a part of the podcast.
But he got a broom and shoot us out of our spot, so that was funny. Anyway, in Reno, one of the things we did, we went to a double birthday party. It was your birthday and Dr. McDreamy's. We went to a nice restaurant. He invited us. It really was all of his family, and we were kind of the plus ones, but it was nice of him to include us. And then I thought it was, I don't know whether you caught on to this or not. Maybe it's just a guy thing. I know we've talked about different aspects, but this part was a guy. We're in the restaurant, and you and I and MarcyZavala.com and Dr. McDream were sitting down at one end of this really long table.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, his watch goes off.
His Apple Watch.
His
yes.
Apple Watch. He looks at it, and I go, "What's up?" And he goes, "Oh, there's a picture of Gen X mom on my." And he holds it up. He holds his wrist
Yeah, I'm like,
up.
what am I doing on your
What is-
phone?
No, I didn't care.
I didn't care either, but it was funny.
Yeah, and he's like, well, that's odd. So he's tapping on it, and his wife, MarcyZavala.com, looks like, yeah, what's she doing on your on your watch? And he's like, I don't know, and so then like he puts his watch down, maybe 5 minutes later, it beeps again, and another picture of you comes up.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting there. It's not like we're sending out
Yeah,
text or anything.
I wasn't on my phone. That was so odd.
And it was obviously from Instagram. You know, everybody kind of figured that part of it out. So again,
that's the only social media I'm on.
Individually.
Individually, my own personal page is only on Instagram.
Right.
That's it.
So
I don't
he
do
goes. So he holds it up again. Now there's another picture of you, and Marcy looks over. She's like,
again.
She had the look like, what the fuck, Chuck? You know, and he's like, I don't know. And so
That was funny.
He said something like, oh, I know. He said, he looks at everybody. He goes, okay, you two are the only two people I follow on Instagram.
That's right.
My wife and Gen X. There's the only two people I follow. So I don't know what's going on. So immediately Marcy glares at me. And I looked up and said, well, I don't follow either one of them. So I don't follow either one of you guys. I don't know what's going on.
Funny.
Or my phone might be beeping too, but I don't follow. So I'm out of the conversation.
It was funny.
You know, I think she was just being silly about it and playing it up. But you know,
she was like looking, going, what the heck?
What is going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, the lady sitting right across the table keeps popping up on your phone.
I'm
right.
secretly texting him under the table.
Right, that's what it was. So, you know, I think she was playing it up. You know who wasn't playing it up?
Who?
That dinner?
What?
Her sister. Her sister doesn't like me.
How do you know?
I could tell. I mean, come on.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I think Dr. McDreamy's brother-in-law, who was funny, he was clever and funny and
yeah, I wish he was a little farther closer down.
Closer to our end of the head. Yeah, but I think
well, first of all, I wish the table was more like a square because
Yeah.
I would have liked to have talked to all the people at the, the table.
We didn't
but
get any conversation with the other end. And
wonder why restaurants don't do that. Like when big parties. I know that maybe they can't accommodate it, but it would be
in a
cool.
conference room you could, but at this particular place, it would have been tough.
That's why I like my dining room table, the new one.
Oh,
it's
yeah, I do too.
square
I
and
love it.
everybody will engage. But anyways, it wasn't Marcy or Dr. McDreamy's, you know, that's not the way they laid out the table. It was the restaurant.
No, yeah, and then we all sat down, but her sister who was sitting next to her,
yeah,
she was still close to us, but yeah, the brother-in-law was funny, and I think he was liking me or tolerating me, but not the sister. Nope. And you know, just the way she looked at you while you're telling a story was like, oh my God, I don't know you, but when is this story going to end? So you end up telling a story and you're halfway through it and you just skip to the end. You're like, and then I laughed and it was over. And you go back to eating because it was bad. I thought she didn't like me at all. I don't know what I did.
That was just the feeling you had.
Oh yeah, for sure. And but I think I don't think she liked me. I think the brother-in-law kind of did. But anyway, that was a couple things I noticed that were funny about the birthday dinner. But so that was.
But it was nice.
It was nice. It was a good dinner.
Time. It was very cool.
What was I going to ask you? Something else I was going to ask you. Oh, you know, I think I know why. I know a lot of people are trying to follow along marcyzavala.com. They don't want pain. Everybody, there's 10,000 people that hear this that go, I would like to not have pain. But when they click the button and they go down the road a little bit, it's the expense of the test. And it's so much, and it's not her.
And she understands that.
She does. She understands it, but it's not her. She has nothing to do or control over. She didn't get a kickback from the people that test.
It's just that intense.
Right.
And I don't think our insurance didn't cover it. And
No.
we have pretty good insurance.
No,
it's out of pocket.
We actually had to go on a payment plan, and we did, and we paid it off. But I'm just saying that, so for those of you listening, you are literally one click away from being pain-free. But yeah, there's a little bit of a kick in the nuts.
There is a discount if you use Gen X Mom. When you talk to Marcy, if you use Gen X Mom, she gives you some money off her fee, her portion of it. But the actual tests,
it's fixed. It's nothing they can do.
There's nothing we can do.
So you guys know,
it's totally worth it, right?
Oh my God, I can't
tell them that when I presented you the amount of money you like.
I
shit
said,
bricks.
fuck no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm sorry. Live in pain the rest of your life. But you have been 10 years of excruciating pain after cancer, and then now you've been 6, 8, 10 months virtually pain-free when you follow her.
Yeah, when
you're on the program,
self-inflicting some things
So I'm just letting you guys know. I know that a lot of you want to go down that road, and if you can somehow muster it together, talk to Marcy, see what options are available, because I'm telling you, wouldn't it be worth it to be making some payments on something, but your body feels better? I'm letting you know, they're not paying me to say this.
Yeah.
They're my friends, and I'm telling you that this works. I'm watching it with my wife. I'm watching it with me. Thank you, MarcyZavala.com. I love you, even though your sister hates me. Okay, now we gotta move on.
Oh my gosh. So our millennial youngest daughter.
Yeah, I don't like her anymore. She needs to leave.
Okay, well okay. Wow. That's new.
That's a culmination of a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll go to that in a minute. But she had her 25th birthday.
Now, she was born June 16th, so she always wants to have it on June 16th. It's like when you get older.
Have what? We didn't even go there yet. I haven't even announced anything.
You said she had her birthday. You just said it.
I just said happy birthday. Didn't mention a party or anything. I was going into that. I was leading into that.
Let me back up while you lead in slowly to my anger and frustration.
Yes, when our kids were younger, we had little birthday parties here and there. Not all the time, like when they were really young in elementary school. But as you got older, they kind of dwindle away. And then you have specific birthdays, right? 13, 16, 18, 21, roughly, right? 21, that's it. We're done. We have actually before that, 18. After that, we have no commitment to throw birthday parties. But this daughter seems to think that every year is a
bash,
monumental birthday.
Shindig.
So she turned 25. Okay, 25. But we are not obligated to throw that birthday party, correct?
She did come and ask me. She goes, will you guys give me a 25th birthday party? To which I replied, you can use my backyard, the pool, the fire pit, the music. I said, Briggs can barbecue for you, and I will supply. I think you and I agreed on hot dogs, hamburgers, and sodas and a few beers. That was it. That's a
lot.
It is, and it was you can use the backyard for your friends. But that was it. I wasn't going to throw, because she'll come to me and go, "Hey, I'm turning 27." For what?
Who cares at the? I know. So she invited a bunch of friends, but for some reason, she thinks you have to have your birthday on the day of your birthday.
Now, see, I don't get that. I get it as a little kid. You're excited for that day, and you'd like it to be on that day.
But it doesn't always work out that way.
It doesn't always work out.
You have school or something going on.
But
so your mom threw a party on the nearest Saturday to your birthday.
But especially as you get older, it's no big deal. You could say, hey, my birthday was 2 weeks ago, but we're celebrating it today.
Correct.
My birthday was a week ago, but we're celebrating it today. She has it in her head that she has to celebrate it.
Just to blow out her candle on that day.
And if you say, well, why don't you have it, that's a Tuesday. Why don't you have it on a Saturday, either before or after? She looks at you with starting to get mad.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, she's like, how can you even say that? And I'm like, you're not 7 years old anymore. It doesn't matter. So because it's on June 16th, it often conflicts with Father's Day.
That is correct.
And I tell her, okay, you're doing it again. It's Father's Day. Other people have stuff they're doing with their fathers. You may not get quite the turnout.
That's right.
And every year she goes, no, it'll be fine. Every year, half an hour after the party's supposed to start, no one's here. And then it turns out to be a handful show up and she's kind of feels better. But she does it every year. Every single year. This year was no exception. Now, there's a couple things that pissed me off about this, which is why I'm jumping into it, because I'm kind of frothing at the bit over this.
Okay. Have you told me about this yet, or am I hearing this firsthand?
Well, you're probably going to hear all of it firsthand, but you're going to recognize it completely.
Okay. So this has bueen building up.
Oh, it's been building up for years.
So you're ready to vent at this
I'm
moment.
ready to vent. Listen to this.
You're going to let everybody hear it.
I'm fucking done. Okay.
Okay, everybody, sit back. This is going to be a while.
This particular daughter.
Yes.
How many years has it been? And maybe I'll just say it, and then you can tell people if I'm lying. Her room is next to our room.
Oh, my God.
Her bedroom's next to our bedroom. How many years has it been where her alarm goes off, and we can hear it through the wall, and she will not get out of bed?
Oh, my God, it's been
bam,
years.
Bam, 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 bam,
and it goes on for a long...
Bam, 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 bam,
Stop.
bam,
Stop.
bam, bam,
Stop.
bam. I know. Until I'm banging on the wall going, knock that shit off. Oh, I didn't hear it, she'd say. How do you not hear your fucking alarm?
It just woke up the whole house.
No shit.
Everybody's up.
Everybody comes out of their rooms and goes, turn off your alarm.
Yeah.
It's a true story. Okay. That's one. She can't hear her own alarm. Number 2.
That's been like that since grade school.
I told you my first question was how many years have we
it's been a long time.
12 years. All right.
At least.
So now you go into, she just goes into a room and you're downstairs. You know, she just went up there. She's putting her books away from school or her work gear away. And you text her, hey, can you come back real quick? No reply. Wait 10, 15 minutes. Hey, I need you to do something here. Or you left something down here. Or, you know, someone was asking about you. You got a phone call or someone came by or you have some mail. Doesn't matter what it is. For the next 2 hours, she will not respond until I send one of the kids upstairs and go bang on her door. And then she comes downstairs. Oh, I didn't hear my phone. You didn't hear it ring? No. You didn't hear the text messages? No. You didn't hear anything? No.
You know what else she does? Is it when she must drive home talking to somebody on the phone all the way home from work. And then she walks in the house on the phone, talking on the phone, and does it all the way to her room.
All the way to her room, yep.
Doesn't say hi to anybody.
Nope.
Doesn't stop, collect $200, nothing. She just like goes walking, has a conversation, maybe circles the kitchen, still having conversation, walks up the stairs, closes the door. That's it.
And when she's in her room, when we've knocked on the door and she says, come in, and you open the door, she's always on her phone. She's got the phone in her hand, but magically she can't hear an alarm. Magically she can't hear us when we're texting or we're calling.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Nothing. All right. That just sets the stage. We have 12, 13 years of this type of anger building up in me on how fucking dumb this whole situation is.
Here we go, people.
Now, her birthday party comes along. I think one person had arrived, and they go all the way out back to the fire pit, which is it's far on our property.
Yeah.
And the doorbell rings. Now, you can't hear the doorbell from the fire pit. You can't physically sit there and hear bung, 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 or whatever it does. But they can text her and say, I'm at your front door.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
And she did it. She got up within 10 seconds of every single person and made it to the front door. I finally grabbed her and said, how are you hearing the front door? That's really amazing, sweetheart. How you can hear the front doorbell ring like that. She goes, oh, no. My friends are just texting me. And then I just go up there. I go, so you're getting them on the first text? She goes, yeah, I don't want them waiting out front. Oh. I said, how the fuck does that happen when for 15 years I can't get you to shut off an alarm because you can't hear it, answer a text because you can't hear it, you won't even pick up the phone when I call because you can't hear it, but magically on your birthday, one stranger that you barely know texts you and before the text even finishes going through, you're hustling your narrow ass to the front door.
Yes.
How is that possible? She goes, I don't want to talk with you right now about this.
Oh, that's your favorite line.
I don't want to discuss this right now.
That's what she says to her dad all the time. Or you're making me feel uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable talking about this topic right now.
We have a millennial in our house.
Oh, yeah. And then she goes to the front door. I said...
She has feelings.
Yeah. And as she's walking to the front door, I'm screaming, no shit, because you're fucking wrong. I'd feel uncomfortable, too, if I was an asshole.
How many times have you told her to fuck your feelings?
Oh, my God. You said, I don't feel like talking right now. Yeah, well, fuck your feelings. You're going to talk. And this is just... It's built up. And then, you know, I don't mind too much when she comes home. I know when she comes home, she's going to find me because you run and hide. She's going to come find me. You do run and hide.
No,
you go in your office and shut the door and pretend you're on the phone. So she comes to me and goes, and she plops down all of her stuff. Oh, you're never going to guess what happened at work today. So the other day before her birthday party, she goes, oh my gosh, Dad, you're never going to guess what happened at work today. I said, wait. Let me try. Somebody wasn't doing their job, made your job way harder, and the supervisor isn't going to do anything about it. Only you're going to tell it in a half an hour story. But is that the gist? She goes, well, yeah, but you're missing all the important parts. I go, what? Like what came out of the snack machine?
And the names of the people.
The names of the people.
You're never going to see or meet.
What part you picked up as you carried it? What am I missing? That's the gist. Well, yeah, that's what happened. I said,
the time frame that it happened.
We got it. I got the whole story. She got mad about that. I said, I do listen. I do listen to the whole story, but then she repeats it.
It's the same every day.
It's almost like, this is going to sound weird. She'll tell me the whole story, the whole 30-minute story from her perspective, her point of view. Then she starts telling it from the other person's point of view. Well, they got to work and they drive that white truck and they said they didn't start in the morning. So they had to get their dad to come jumpstart the truck. I'm like, wait a minute.
And then they went by Starbucks and they bought a cappuccino and then they drove here.
But the guy gave them the wrong one. And so they had to go.
So
I hear the whole story from her point of view. Then I hear the whole story from this person's point of view. Yeah. God forbid there's a third person involved. Ugh. So I told her, I said, I got it. She goes, I don't repeat myself. I said, you do. So did you hear me yell the other day? She got mad because she ordered this computer. She ordered a computer from Best Buy or something for like $1,000. Every day she goes, okay, I tracked the computer. It might be here today. It could be here tomorrow, but it'll definitely be here on the third day. And because it's so expensive and it's a computer, you have to be over 18 to sign for it. And I did say sign for it, so I make sure I got it. But each one of you are on the list. You can sign for it.
Yes.
You heard that?
Yes, I did.
The next day, okay, my computer, I ordered it. It might be here today. It could be here tomorrow. Third day, it would be kind of late. But because it's a computer and over $1,000, I had to sign for it. So make sure it gets here. But each one of you are listed on the paperwork, so you can sign for it. Then the next day, okay, I got my computer coming. I said, oh my God, I know your fucking computer's coming. We can sign for it if we're here. I got it.
And guess what? It arrived yesterday. The UPS guy dropped it on her porch.
No signature.
Nothing. No signature. No nothing.
Right out front. But
I didn't even ring the doorbell.
She got mad and she goes, I'm just trying to explain. I go, you explain it every fucking day. I got it. I can repeat the whole thing back to you. Well, I'm just excited and you should be excited for me. I said, I'm trying to be. So get this. She wants this because she wants that. This builds to the whole story of her boyfriend. She wants the computer to occupy her time playing video games. This is what she told me. I want to play video games in my room where I don't have to think about my boyfriend and I don't have to go over to his house. So I can spend more time here away from him, distancing myself from him and getting on with my life. You know
why I'm venting of this? Is that she spent by the time she spent everything, what was it, $1,200-$1,300 or more?
Yeah.
She could have put that toward nursing school.
Yeah.
That's what upsets me.
Sure she could have.
This is just a temporary fix when what she ultimately wants to do is go to nursing school and she's 25.
So she does this all with the computer, and I thought, I'm going to ask, how does your computer working?
Oh, shit. You should not have asked that. You should not have gone there.
And I said, I know. I said, I just don't want a whole story. Just wait.
Oh, man.
Just tell me how it's going. Have you played any of these games yet? And she goes,
when did you ask this?
Last night. Late last night.
Okay.
She's had it for a day now. She had it for a full day. And she goes, well, I want to play Skyrim, but that game's been out for 15 years. And until I download all the mods and skins, I won't play it. And I go, I don't understand what that means. She goes, if you download mods and skins, it makes your character look different in the game. It makes your character look unique. It makes you're not generic looking. So it dresses up the whole game. And then you go out in this world and you play with other people and they see what you look like. You see what they look like. Okay. I go, who cares? It's a fucking video game.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm not playing it. It's just like a woman who says, I'm not going out tonight until I look just right with the right outfit and the right hair. Or I'm not going.
Okay.
That's what she said. I'm not going to play the video game until my character looks just right. I go, how long is that going to take? I talked to Briggs. He goes, that'll take 2 fucking weeks. There's like 1,000 downloads you can get for these things. She's going to be deciding for a week before she even begins to play.
Oh my gosh.
I said, okay, I fucking know how to game. I get it. I don't get this. I don't understand this at all.
I don't care.
I'm lost out of my fucking mind. I go, okay, so you spent $1,000 on a computer because you had to play it to get away from your boyfriend to play a game, but now you won't play it because the character on the screen isn't accessorized correctly. She goes, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And then she walked away like she'd given me a solid answer and she was happy about it.
Oh my gosh.
True story. True fucking story.
Okay, so she didn't play at all? She hasn't played any games?
She has not played yet. Nope. Not even a little bit. Hasn't even come close.
All right. I don't know what to do about that. I was surprised you even asked that question, like how things are going.
I just wanted to know that it was working, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this whole thing, about the video gaming thing. I think she should do something better with their time than that. I don't know. I guess.
Well, I'm a little bit encouraged that she's deciding to distance herself from the guy, but why doesn't she just say, this isn't working out? Because she thinks that
cut bait, move on.
Right. She thinks that what he's going to do is, you don't even see me that much anymore, so why are we even together? And he's not, because this is perfect for him.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
She goes over there 2 days a week. She cleans up the apartment. She cooks for him. She does his laundry, and then she leaves for 3 or 4 days.
So he's losing his maid.
That's about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. The whole thing's dumb.
All right. So I don't know. You haven't talked to me about this, but what's happening with this Chris Cuomo show thing or whatever?
Well,
is this still going on?
Yeah, we were supposed to be on the Chris Cuomo podcast on Friday. His producer called
last Friday.
2 Fridays ago, actually.
Oh, okay.
Been 2 Fridays, and she said, "Look, if there's a major news story." Well, let me back up. She says on his podcast, what he does is, on Fridays he does kind of lighthearted, entertaining, not real news, just kind of goofy stuff that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And that's it. Kind of featured events like that. So that's good. And she says, so we try to do that every Friday. It's a lot of fun. It's lighthearted. There's no Democrat, Republican stuff going on. She says, but if there happens to be a breaking news story, we stick with that all day. If there's some big event, we stick with that all day. I said, no problem. I get it. So 2 Fridays ago, she didn't call in the morning, so I just waited till the next week and said, did I miss your call? She goes, no, my fault. We stayed on topic. The next week she did say, she contacted me, she goes, we're staying on a topic this time. And so then I guess a day ago or 2 days ago, I texted her, I got her phone number, I texted and said, hey, she goes, yeah, let's try for this week. So I mean, if we get bumped again, we get bumped again, but if not, then we'll go on this week. I don't mind talking to
Okay,
Chris.
so how are you going to know? Like tomorrow morning? Like right before the show?
Yeah,
or,
tomorrow
oh my
morning
gosh, really?
I'm going to text her in the morning, our time. Their show is around noon or afternoon, their time. And just say, hey, are we still on board? Do you want to give me a Zoom link? And like that.
All right.
And if she says no, we're bumping, then we'll put it off and keep going. I don't care. I would like to do the show with them. I'd like to just goof around, talk about videos and stuff. I don't care. But I don't know, if we get something else comes up, something else comes up.
So I have some breaking news to tell you since we're on the radio.
You have breaking news?
Yeah, well, you can delete it off the podcast if you want, but
okay.
I have some news, and it's not going to sit well with you.
What? First of all, how would you know? You're not supposed to be on your phone or the computer.
It came across my phone because I was checking.
Here we
ready?
go. Yep.
Donald Sutherland has passed away.
Donald Sutherland? No.
At 88. See?
He was not my favorite actor by any stretch of the imagination. But when I look back at the roles that they gave that guy.
Like what? Tell people. Like what did he...
Well, the one with the Italian Job that he was in.
Oh, yeah.
He was in that one. Then he goes back to, what was it?
He didn't really have many starring roles,
no,
did he?
That's why I say the roles he had. There was the one, the World War II one was the first one I saw him in. Was it Kelly's Heroes? The one about the gold with Telly Savalas.
Wow, that's really going back.
It is going back like mid-70s. That was my first introduction to him, and he's always had these roles, or Space Cowboys when he got older with what's the guy, Rockford Files?
James Garner.
James Garner was in that one. There was those 4 old Space Cowboys. Clint Eastwood was in it. Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
So I've got these roles that he wasn't ever starring in, but the roles they gave him were so quirky, and he was such a quirky actor with those things.
Yeah, so he passed away.
Yeah, he did a good job.
I just thought I'd announce that on the air if anybody was listening, that just came through. Kind of sad, but
yeah,
it's happening. So I have something funny to share with you. So
well, thank God.
It is funny because you're going to laugh. So every other week I try to do Grammy time with our grandson who lives in Las Vegas. And most of the time, this cool rockin' grandma here plays video games with him.
Well, I use that video game term
loosely, okay?
It's like saying if you play, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if she plays tic-tac-toe on the computer.
That's a video game.
She calls it a video game.
Okay, so one of the games we play is Bloons, the Bloons TD or Bloons TD6 or whatever, and he loves that thing. So we play, it's a monkey game where the monkeys are shooting down balloons, right? That's what it
they
is.
poke 'em.
Okay. So we were spending our time yesterday and I was on the computer, we're playing, but here's the funny part. So the thing's blowing up. We're like on round 80, right? And I'm trying to control everything and blow things up. And he's like, Grammy, just go over to the right there and go up on the list and you can get some extra things. I go, I can't do that. And he's calmer than calm and just going, Grammy, just click on the thing on the right and just go find some extra things to lay down on the tracks and you'll blow them up. And he's saying this. I go, but we have to get through this level. He goes, oh, Grammy, we got time. It's no problem. Grammy, just go over. And my stress level.
What is he, 6 or 7 now?
7. My stress level was way up here and he's calmly telling me where to go on the menu to do all this stuff. I'm like,
so you know what's
oh my
happening when you're all
gosh.
done with that hour. He gets off the computer and he goes to his mom and dad and they say, how was Grammy time? He goes, it was okay. We played a couple of games. It was fine. You get off the hour. You come crawling into the living room on your hands and knees going,
exactly.
okay, all right. Grammy time's over. Ooh.
Oh, I felt like I ran a marathon and he's calmly going, yeah, I played, games with Grammy and no big deal. And he runs off and I'm like, I'm stressed. My blood pressure is rising. And
You see, that's why when I play video games with the boys, I drink. I drink heavily. And then that's when Invisihuchi comes into play on Halo and I'm locked in and ready to go.
yeah, and he's telling me, he goes, Grammy, the best I've ever got is round 122. We got to be round 122. I'm at 100. And I'm like, I cannot go 22
you're hanging
more
on
rounds.
You're hanging on by a thread.
I am. I was like totally stressed in, but
You know what? I got to call him and tell him, say, look, little man, here's the gig. When you're on the video games with Grammy, you got to pull her aside and go, Grammy, breathe. Just breathe. I got to teach him some phrases here.
I couldn't. It was so funny. I was like,
Oh,
I was
my
exhausted. I needed a nap after that
I bet.
video game thing.
I
So
bet you did.
also I have a bone to pick with you.
What did I do now?
Okay, first of all, you walk by me without kissing me all the time.
Makes you want it more when I actually do stop. I don't want the kisses
Keep telling
to be,
yourself that.
I don't want the kisses to become ordinary. I don't want them to become
Kissing
boring.
you is never ordinary.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
But this morning,
Yeah.
you gave me a kiss before you went out to the studio and you gulped for air.
Okay.
I'm like, what? Did I
Okay.
take your breath away?
Yeah. let's-
Please tell me I took your breath away. Come on. Come on.
You do.
Wow.
You're
You
not going to
do.
believe what happened. If I tell you, you're not going to. I did. You were on the stairs. You were on one first step, and I hugged you and I gave you a kiss. And I did kind of get choked up and pull away real quick, and I gasped for air, and we laughed, and out
So
I
you
went.
I took your breath?
Yes. Can we just leave it at that?
No, because I'm feeding. I just force fed you that one.
Okay. My left nostril is clogged up right now like I got a cold.
Your left not. Okay.
My left nostril. Look, you asked. You
Okay,
don't ask
continue
if you
on.
don't.
I'm going to be afraid that
So I
asked
leaned
this
in for the
question.
kiss, and your nose went on the right side of my nose. So as I'm kissing you, your nose blocked off my right nostril. Now my left one's clogged.
Well, I've never heard that
You
one
blocked
before.
off my right one, and I'm kissing you, so I can't breathe through my mouth. And the kiss just happened to start as I was running out of air. So I had to hurry up the kiss, pull away, and go, ooh, to breathe. I couldn't breathe. I was choking because it was an odd thing. What are the chances that would even happen?
I took your breath away better.
Okay.
Let's stay
I
with
tried
that.
to leave it there and you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't let it go. You're like a dog
It was
with a
just
bone.
so weird.
It was, yes, it was really weird. I agree, but it wasn't planned. I didn't know I was going to kiss you, so I didn't suck in a bunch of air so I can prolong this kiss.
Okay.
And I didn't know your nose was going to go right instead of left. And why didn't you close off the left
Well,
nostril?
it was memorable.
It was already closed off anyway.
It was memorable. I'm just going to chuck it up to that. That's fine.
I'm surprised you remembered.
Because it was odd.
It was odd.
It was very odd.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I
Yeah.
sent you something this morning. I hope you watched it and made sure that what I said was correct or how I said. I said, did you hear Google is leaving San Francisco?
Yeah.
They're in a big building.
Yeah.
Like downtown or something, San Francisco. Did you see it? Did you watch it?
I didn't go. I skimmed through the article. I didn't go to the video at all, but I will. But it's typical.
Let's talk about it. Because I want to know your thoughts on it.
Okay. There have been articles and articles and articles about businesses leaving the San Francisco area.
Okay.
It's not safe. You know, they promote robbery by not prosecuting. So there's been hundreds and hundreds of stores that have closed and left. There have been, I think it's 13 major chains like grocery stores and fast food stuff that's left. A lot of the jewelry stores closed up right away because people were just smashing and grabbing.
The high-end stuff.
Okay, so they go through all that stuff for a long time, and in San Francisco, they just kind of sweep it under the rug. They don't talk about it. You know, no, everything's fine here. There's no big deal. I think the significance of Google leaving is Google is heavily a left-leaning company. They support Democrats. They support socialism. They support liberal ideas.
Yeah, and I think in the article it said it told San Francisco, the city, that they would never leave or something. There was something like they had said.
They had said that they'd never leave. And just south of San Francisco is where Facebook is and others. And they've said, well, we won't leave. But you're getting to a point where people can't afford it anymore. You're getting to a point where it's dangerous, where you can't even drive down the street. Your car gets carjacked. Even politicians up there are getting their cars jacked. They're getting robbed, and people don't know who you are. They don't know if you're a politician or if you're a news reporter, if you're just a regular jabroni.
Right.
So the significance of the article you just pointed to, even though it's just one in a long line of many people saying this city's completely fucked up and we got to go, is that it was Google. It is a supporter of those mayors, a supporter of those councilwomen and men. It is a proponent, a company that pushes Democrat liberal ideas, and now they're leaving
the principal people they support.
The result of what they've built.
Yeah.
You gave to campaign donations. You helped shape this city to make it what it was with Democrats, top to bottom, and now you're going, well, this sucks, and you're leaving. You did this. These are your people. This is your agenda, and you don't like what you've created, and now you're leaving. That's the significance to me of this. It's not that it's happening, because it's happening all over. It's tons, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. But to have a big company, what a blow to the Democrat agenda, to liberal ideals, and the socialism they're trying to push. To have your biggest supporter walk away going, this isn't working for us. No shit, it's not really working for anybody. But when you have a small company, a mom and pop, say, well, you just don't like what we're doing here. We're making the world a better place, and you're leaving. Well, you can say that to a mom and pop operation. Right. Call them right-wing extremists, call them Christians, call them whatever you want. You can't say that about Google.
Right.
Google is nothing but left-leaning, information squashing, supporting your cause, and leaving the result of what you guys built. That's the significance for me.
Oh, okay. Well, I have another question, and it doesn't have anything to do with Google in San Francisco, but it has something to do with, and I might be ignorant to this.
Okay.
People, I'm sorry, this might be a blonde moment.
All right.
But with all these people coming across the border, and they're in significant numbers, where are they all going?
Anywhere they can. They shuffle into America and hide.
Where though?
Well, just imagine. Okay, I can't speak for every town in America. I haven't been there, but think about where we grew up. Think about L.A. and the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
And let's say you had 10,000 migrants, 10,000 illegals that don't want to get caught by the police, that don't want to, where are they going to go? Can you picture in your mind places that they would filter into, neighborhoods where people might be willing to take them in as friends and relatives of where they came from, or relatives that they actually know?
Yeah.
So they filter. It's not like they're walking down the street and just turning right and walking. walking up and hiding in someone's garage they don't know.
Well, let me fill in something. Years and years ago, my sister lives in the San Diego County area.
Yeah.
And she was slightly inland and quite a few miles from the border.
Yeah.
But I do remember there were these fields, where she was, and there were times I'd be in the back garden, you could see people walking through the fields or whatever. But but that was like every once in a while.
Right.
Now they're talking about thousands of people coming across. That's why I'm just like,
they filter into you wouldn't want to go to a small town of 2,000 people. You can't blend in there. You can't hide.
Okay, I see.
It's tough. You can't. So you go to a heavily populated area,
like San Diego, if you're coming across
San Diego
the
or all the big cities along the border in Texas.
Okay.
You try to filter in. They come across in Texas and they span out left and right. They try to go to bigger cities where they can blend in and fit in. They find other houses of people doing the same thing where they can go to. The cops know where they are. They just can't do anything about it.
Oh my gosh. I just can't imagine like seeing all these people. They've got to go somewhere. That's all. I'm just like, cause where we live, we haven't seen it yet.
No,
not that I know of.
In our area, we're in more of a rural part of California.
Right.
A lot of farmland up here. So you might I hear stories where they go to migrant farmers, and they'll just pick 300 of them, gather them up, and out of 300, they'll find 20 of them are illegal. Well, that means that those 20 people got up here and blended in. They knew right where to go. And see, the problem I'm having with this is, number one, you should never come in illegally.
Yeah.
You got to come in through a point of entry, period. But they throw out the people that are trying to work, and they keep the criminals here and release them. They'll round up 20 people that are out, picking pistachios and trying to earn some money for the day and trying to feed their family. Yes, they're here illegally. Fix that problem. But then you get one who goes to jail for rape or murder or robbery, and they go right back out on the street. That's the part I'm having a real big problem with. All of them should be processed correctly, and maybe we can get rid of the ones. All the good immigrants that are trying to come here correctly and stay, be part of the American dream. Every single one of these motherfuckers, every one of them that has committed a crime, needs to have a punted, slung over the wall, and stay there and don't ever come back. If you want to be in America, come through legally, come through a point of entry, and go after the American dream.
I think that's what I'm most worried about is all the bad scum that is coming across. And when I read these articles of people getting, like, young kids, girls getting raped or killed, or that bothers me so much. I feel for those families. Like, that girl wasn't doing anything wrong or whatever, but they're
suffering the consequences of bad policies. That's all. That's all it is. So you ask them where they go, they spread out. They spread out into big areas where they can blend in and they can try to stay. That's it. That's the short answer.
All right. Well,
wow, you really changed the tempo of this podcast.
I'm sorry. Well, let's keep going down that road.
No.
Because the kid dropped a bomb this morning and said that his podcast that he produces, 21 Gun, got dropped.
Yeah, the kid works. He is the engineer for 21 Gun podcast. 21 Gun podcast is about veterans. The veterans talking about all sorts of issues. They're great guys. I've been on their program many times. Kevin Sullivan, who's the main guy, there's been on our show before, and he was behind a paywall with Anthony Cumia, and that was a Compound Media, and he was part of their big conglomerate. Well, Anthony's doing other stuff now. So the company got sold or merged or something. He got an email today that, sorry, dude, you're out. And it wasn't just him. A lot of people, they had 75 or 80 podcasts. The merger probably kept 3 or 4, so everybody can.
It happens in every company that got merged.
It's unfortunate that, 21 Gun got the axe when they're probably keeping shows that they shouldn't. But Veterans Show is a good show. But he's got a chance at doing something down with Glenn Beck in Texas. He had some meetings down there a couple months back.
Well,
maybe
that's good.
something. Oh, I think
Maybe something will happen.
maybe it will, and I hope for the best on that too. So we'll see. But any of you guys who have watched the 21 Gun podcast for any reason, not just because we were on it, just wish the best for those guys because they're going to be looking for a new home.
Yep. I'm sure somebody will pick them up.
I hope so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So here's another deal. Did I tell you last week that I can't slap Briggs in my dreams?
Yeah, well, I hope you can't slap Briggs
I'm
in your
telling you,
dreams.
that it happened again, and in my dream.
And why can't? Well, let me ask you this:
Hold on,
why
I'll
can't
tell you what
you?
happened. I went to slap him, and I couldn't do it.
Oh, my
It was like at the
gosh.
very last minute, I pulled back, and I just kind of slapped softly, like playing.
You bitch slapped.
Yeah, or less. It was just like this playful, like, oh, no big deal. Like a limp wrist, like, oh, silly. And I can't hit him. When I'm mad in my dream, I cannot slap him.
Well, there must be an underlying issue there of something. God
don't know.
telling you can't hit him.
That is not what that is. That is not God interceding
Maybe
in my
that's
dream.
not the most important thing in your dream.
Well, what is? That seems like it's pretty important.
I don't interpret dreams. How would I know? And why were you slapping him in the first place? What did he do? And now he's in here, but why?
Yeah.
Why were you slapping him?
I
What
don't
did he
remember.
do?
I just remember.
Oh, now you don't remember.
He did deserve it. Let's just go there. He
Oh.
did deserve it. We can start
How
with
do you-
that
how do
baseline.
I know that?
Because I'm telling you.
I wasn't there.
No, you weren't.
You don't know. You're
Then
not going
I'm
to slap him.
Then I'm the only authority on this matter.
Then why did you even bring it up?
I wanted to know if I told you that in a previous podcast that I can't.
I think you
it's
did,
weird.
but now you're having it again.
Yeah. And I don't know why I can't slap
I bet
him.
you he could slap you in your dream.
But he could. He has never slapped me in one of my dreams. No.
How do you know?
Because it's my dream. Why do you keep questioning what's going on in my dream? I'm there. That's how I know. How do I know he's...
You don't even know why you were slapping him.
I told you he deserved it.
Deserved what? For what? What did he do?
Now let's not get into that.
Oh,
right now.
see, so now you're holding
That
details.
doesn't matter.
I poured the damn ice in before the Coke. God
Yes,
damn
that's
it.
probably what it was.
God
Put the
damn.
ice in before the Coke.
Do you
That's
know-
a good question. Do you put ice in a glass and then add the
Hold
Coke?
on.
Or add the Coke, then add ice?
Do you know what he's... first of all, I always put ice in and then I add the Coke. However, we have that one container that you give me that has that thermos looking container, one of them, like
Okay.
the Broncos one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. If you put 2 Coca-Colas in there, you have room at the top for like 3 ice cubes.
Okay.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And it keeps it cold for hours. So I tell him, I go, pour 2 Cokes in and add a couple things of ice. So what does he do? Every fucking time, he goes and puts like 11 ice cubes in there, puts 1 Coke in there, and brings me the second Coke and goes, this one didn't fit. No shit, because you didn't do what I told you.
You know what?
You want to know something crazy? You want to know something crazy?
If you're going to talk about that, you get on a mic.
I am on a mic.
Ah, okay.
You want to know something crazy? Is that glass that he's specifically talking about doesn't hold 2 Cokes
That
on
is
its
correct.
own.
That was my
It
next
doesn't
thing.
hold it by itself.
Don't
It's-
bring him the second can. He won't know the difference.
I just drank the second can.
So do I. Whatever's left, I drink the other part of it.
You guys are assholes. I can't believe you're doing this to me.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
No idea.
His-
You have no idea.
Well,
that
I
you're
know
not
the
getting
idea
2
the
Coke.
other day when I spit out that Coke because you mixed it with Coke Zero.
I'm trying to save you on your sugar.
It's tasted so gross. It was horrible. I thought I was going to get mad at our
I got the
daughter
ratio
because
wrong.
I thought that she left it out in the sun during her barbecue party for her birthday. And I came in and I even told you, I said, hey, those Cokes you gave me, they got left out in the sun. Those were
That was the
horrible
problem.
tasting. I was going to yell at her going, you ruined the Cokes, man. You left the sodas out from your birthday in the sun. And I went to drink one and they were gross. Only to find out
It was a Coke Zero. The ratio was off. That was my fault.
there's no ratio.
Yes, you need to have like half to 3/4 of a can
How
of
long have
Coke
you been
Zero.
doing that?
Oh, for weeks.
Are you kidding me? Are you shitting me?
I have been doing it for weeks, and now I told you the ratio was a little off, so that's why you tasted it.
That's fucking horrible. Just give you know what? If I order a Coca-Cola, give me a Coca-Cola. What are you fucking doing?
Look up. It's nothing. You're not even looking at your screen, man.
Oh my
Why are
gosh!
you on my screen? Use the kid's computer over there.
Well, you know how I am.
Oh my goodness!
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're looking up sea anchors.
Don't.
Okay, we'll just continue.
Look that stuff up, but don't pass it along until I'm done. All right, so now we're back. What do you want? I'm here.
Oh, can we do an update on the Reno property? Have we talked that we are in escrow?
I know, because escrow just opened this morning, officially.
Officially.
We turned in an offer on vacant land, and we had a really good, a divine moment where Ben Matlock is coming to our rescue.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm not kidding. You should wait.
No relation to the Matlock show.
What's
no
that?
relation to the Matlock show.
No, although he says that, he goes, yeah, my name is Ben Matlock. I never lost a case. He's in construction. He's had no cases.
No, none. So he's won them all.
He's won them all.
Technically.
Well, he's also lost them all. He's never lost. He's lost as many as he's won.
Right.
Anyway, so what I find funny is that there was 5 acres of this land, and it used to be. Okay, this is distracting as fuck.
No.
No, you got to go. Come on, this is bugging me. Stop. Go. Don't do this right now. Fucking, I tell him not to, and he's like, just a minute, it'll be fine. Now it's distracting me, and I go, okay, it's distracting me.
Right now.
He's like, no, it's not, it'll be fine. Then I'm like, okay, now you're really pissing me off. No, I'm not, just give me a minute. Shut the fuck up and get away from me. What a dumb thing to be doing in the middle of a podcast. Okay, this is an example. Why couldn't he wait till we were done? Why does he have to push me to one side and get on my computer while we're doing the podcast?
I don't know.
Nothing Jacob needs is has to be done in the next 30 minutes. He could wait. But this is the mentality. This fucking idiot son of mine, he comes in here and then he's telling me it'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. You're okay. And if I get mad, he's like, what's wrong with you? I don't know, because you just interrupted every fucking thing I was doing. As I kept saying no, you kept saying yes. And when I finally get mad, I'm the bad guy. This is the mentality that I'm fighting right now. You guys just heard it live. This is what happens to me all fucking day, and everybody wonders why I drink. So this property up there in Dayton, Nevada, was 5 acres. The kid inherited it. The guy inherited it. His mother passed away. So he divided it into 2 5-acre parcels. And when we looked on
2.5.
I'm sorry, 2.5 acre. It was 5 acres divided in half to 2.5 each. And the listing, like, it only been on the market 1 or 2 days. And the first property is already in escrow.
Yeah. It didn't last very long.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So I look at the listing and it says well water to the property. And it had some other little things. And I thought, well, if there's a well on the property, because that's kind of what it indicates. Or it says the property ran on well water. I said, well, if there's a well, there's got to be power. So we can just reconnect the power and fix the well, and we're down the road.
Uh-huh.
Well, after doing some homework, the well water was pumped to the property. The electricity was shunted to the property.
Yes.
There is no water on the property. There is no electrical on the property. I still want the property. But because when we're talking with the realtor, he's like, well, let me try to find the well. Let me go to the county and pull the map and see where they put the well. Let's see what's going on with power, because you're probably right. If there's a well, there's power.
Right.
And I'm asking all these questions, and it comes out to be that there was no well on the property, and there was no electric on the property. Okay.
And neither was the other side either.
Well, that's the point I'm going for. He doesn't know. He can't know that there's no well on his property, because the only person who could have told him that would have been the realtor, and she didn't know to tell us.
So you think he is buying the property sight unseen, like not?
I don't think he did his homework, because he was already in escrow for his part.
He was.
He's thinking whatever made him to buy that property is in his head, and he bought it, or he's buying it. He's in escrow.
Uh-huh.
So I come along and I'm like, so where's the well? Where's the power? What are we doing?
Asking all the right
and
questions.
And the realtor's like, I'm not sure. I think. That's all she could have told him when he bought his side. When he bought his side of the property, the only information he had was it's been on the market 1 day, is what she said.
Maybe
and
it's an investment property. He's just buying the land.
Well, it could be, but no matter what, when he goes on there, he says, wait a minute. I read the same thing. I thought it had a well, and I thought it had power, same as I did. It doesn't. And it doesn't specifically say that it did. It's not false advertising.
Interesting.
But she worded it correctly. There was well water to the property.
Right.
So you assume, but she wasn't wrong. And she was very forthright about it when she figured it out, same as us. And she's like, no, okay, it's this. Do you still want the property? Yes, I do. But she didn't give the other guy that option.
Now, does she have to legally call that guy and tell him, or
no?
Not? Okay.
He has during escrow, he has his opportunity to do his due diligence on the property. But I think what this guy might, unless he's just got a ton of money, which he may, I think what he'll wait is until we cut our land and we put a well in, and he'll go, hey, so how about I split that with you?
No.
Well, that's a lot of people do that. In fact, if
No.
you get a neighborhood where there's 5 or 6 houses, you build what's called a cistern, and you pump into the cistern, and it goes out to all the houses that way.
Well, you know what? I don't share. I don't play nice.
Wow.
I'm not sharing.
So I'm not sure if he knows all. I'm sure this realtor, she's so nice. I'm sure she called the guy as soon as she found out what we found out.
After you did the homework?
No, well, I found out through my way, through Ben Matlock, the same way she found out. We found out the same day, just 2 different ways. I'm sure she called him and said, hey, by the way, I just learned there's not an actual well on the 5 acres, or the 2.5. And there's no power. I'm sure she told him because she didn't know before, just same as we didn't. She was very fair about it.
All right. Plus, it was fairly new. It was only on 5 days. I think it was up for sale. So maybe she didn't do a lot of homework on it either.
No, I heard she listed it and then began. The listing was very vague. It wasn't misleading at all.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's, told the other person about that. So I'm good with it. But, now the thing is to finish escrow, buy it, and then put power on it, which I'm hoping because Ben owns a power company. He owns an electric company that does that. They get a fair price on doing that, then drill a well, then clear a little bit of it. So once the property is marked off where we know exactly where the corners are, and you drill a well and you have power on it and you clear part of the land, that's a good stopping point.
Okay.
That's also about when I'll be out of money. So
And we have to save up some more.
we got to save up for another year. But the idea is that if you can get that far, then the property grows in value quite a bit. Because you've done a lot of the hard work that other people don't want to have to do.
I am getting a little excited about it.
Good. You should. We'll get there.
starting to.
It's just going to take a little bit.
I know. I got to practice patience.
Yeah. So we're trying to get there. It was a godsend
It's kind of,
that Ben Matlock we even crossed paths because we had for those of you who don't know, we had the meet and greet in Reno, and his wife, who really likes Gen X Talks, drug him there. Christine, she drug him there and made him go, and then he turns out to be like the greatest asset we could ever.
because we were kind of stressing and going, should we buy this? Should we?
Because we don't know anybody. Someone could tell me it was
No.
$200,000 to put a well in, and I would know if that was right or not.
I know.
don't
We were going back and forth, going, well, should we not? But I think that's solidified.
It did.
us
Once
going
he
forward.
came out the next day, which he
Yeah.
took his time out of his work day, came out the next morning and met us there on the property, and he walked around and said, okay, the numbers you're thinking in your head for getting this far along, I can do this.
That's what
Then I knew we were okay. But without him, it would have been super tough to do. So I
Yeah.
was very thankful that he showed up and stuck around and took a liking to us. So that was about it. That's where we're at. We'll let you guys know as it goes along. But we turned in an offer. It was accepted today, and we got the paperwork back. So we're waiting for the title company to email us, and then we'll start down that road.
There we go. Here we go.
That's it.
I have a great idea for the live streams.
Oh, goody.
The bottom of the Glass Nation and the Facebook thing. It's actually not a new idea, but
Well, you didn't say it was new. You just said it was an idea.
I have an idea.
Okay.
You know how you're using we have a Gen X Talk cell phone, a phone where you could call and leave messages or whatever, and you started using it for trivia. Why don't you do it like old school where you go, the 10th caller will win a prize, or the 10th caller can give your answer, whatever.
And then I just pick it up and go, hello. And when they say hi, I go, sorry, caller number 1. You click.
Didn't that
hello?
what they used to do?
Well, yeah.
That's what they used to do
But
back
we
in
don't
the
have
day.
multiple lines here. I'm just going to have to keep picking up the phone.
And
Well,
that's funny.
I guess, yeah.
Come on, that's funny.
I could let them say their name. Hi, caller, what's your name? And then as soon as they say, I could go,
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
not you.
You wouldn't even say sorry. You wouldn't
Just
even say,
tell 'em.
and they're going, but General,
Not you. God, not you.
And that is their interaction with you.
That
It
would be funny.
Come
I don't
on.
mind trying that, yeah.
And for like the last couple weeks, we've brought the General's Garage Show back, which is Friday
I
nights.
can't believe when we set that up right, we put that other Mac, that old Mac we had in the garage on one of my toolboxes. And when you set it up correctly on Streamlabs where you're on all the channels and you go vertical on certain ones and horizontal on other ones, I'm amazed at what the response is.
I think it's a great show. It's so organic and it's out of the norm and it's out of the studio and it's just people. There's such a mix of women, men asking questions, guys giving like their opinion on it. I love reading the comments.
Just, you know,
it's great.
it's not the thing I have to get. People come to that show and they're like, oh, is this a seminar? Are we learning something from your expertise?
Tell them what you do. Tell them what you do on the garage show.
We just talk about what it should be called Shade Tree Mechanic, you know, Shade Tree Mechanics Corner is what it should be called, but just a garage show. And I bring out old tools that no one uses anymore because they're kind of obsolete. We talk about those. We see if anybody recognizes them. We answer questions. Sometimes someone will call and go, how often should I change my oil?
Simple.
I'll answer.
Simple question.
Someone says, well, what do I do if the dealership's telling me this or telling me that? Well, if I know, I'll help you out. And there's a lot of interaction on that show for the garage show, which is a lot of fun. And the audience, other than I think the kids shows he's doing, probably has the fastest growing audience at the moment. But it is rivaled by the garage show because if we do it every Friday, if we get consistent about it now that we're back in it, that'll be one of the biggest shows we ever do.
That's cool. It's Friday nights. We do it Friday nights, 6 p.m.
6
Los
p.m.
Angeles
Los
time.
Angeles time.
So if you can stop by and check it out, it is on YouTube and
I know it's everywhere.
Facebook.
It's everywhere. Rumble, yeah. You know what we're doing this week? Do you remember?
Oh, you are using the Bad Dog tools.
We're demonstrating the Bad Dog tools.
I'm looking forward to that. I think that's a great idea.
I got to remember to take some time before the show to set that up. I mean, make something where we, got to have a jig to hold things.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah,
we got a
Bad
bottom
Dog
of the glass show. We got this to do right now and then edit it and produce it, get it out there. Then we have the bottom of the glass show tonight. Then we have the world show tomorrow morning. Then we have the garage show tomorrow night. Then Saturday morning at fucking god early, we head to Torrance. For those of you down in Southern California, the city of Torrance has a big cultural festival. We told them we'd be part of that. They contacted Daniel Edwards. He's one of our brand managers here. So we told them we'd go down there and give away some t-shirts and stickers and hang out for part of the day. And then we got to come back
and do Moderator Appreciation Night. Yeah, that should be fun.
Is Saturday, and I sent out a questionnaire to get some personal info.
We did that last year, and I loved it. I loved it. So yes, we are going to appreciate our moderators. They've been great, awesome. They're there all the time. It's wonderful. They're great.
I want to show you that Elon Musk and I are very similar.
Okay.
So Elon Musk buys Twitter and lays off 80% of the employees. And they're like, how are you running Twitter with only 20% of the employees? And he goes, turns out you don't need that many people to run Twitter.
There's a lot of companies that could do that, like our government. Oh, I'm sorry.
So, we've had some moderators and we've had some staff that has left staff for various reasons.
Right.
And we haven't really replaced them.
No, we have not.
And we're doing just fine.
We are.
It's amazing. I looked at it. I was like, wait, we had 13. Now we're down to like 6 or 5. And then again, like Elon Musk, I can answer saying, you got the right people in there. You don't need as many.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's starting to, after 3+ years, 3.5 years now, it's starting to become a well-oiled machine. Once you get into, there are days where there's hiccups, and part of it is us taking some time off to go do some things and coming back.
We go to Reno and come back. It's rough.
But really, it's starting to like.
Well, that's the pitch that Jacob has. Jacob, the one that the kid was in here doing this stuff, was about brand manager, and he has shown me that Gen X Talks is kind of a package now. Your podcasts come out every Friday. They're solid. You got a good audience. Your bottom of the glass shows consistently Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Right.
World show Friday. Garage show Friday night. The kid does his 2 shows on Monday, and you have Monday night movie and Discord. He says, you guys have, like you said, a well-oiled machine, but now we fine-tuned it to what works. Mm-hmm. And as long as we stay consistent, things seem to be growing, very steadily. We're not, knocking them down.
And that has all been trial and error. None of us have had any social media, nothing. Yeah. We just kind of go with it. You know what I think it is? I think it's growing up and watching television and having the TV guide and knowing that our audience lived that era, that if you stay consistent enough, they're going to come back.
Yeah, well, that was a thing back then. Now,
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, I
they
go, you
watch
knew.
TV shows and binge. You can watch a whole season.
Yeah.
But back then, you got in your head where you were going to be at what time because you had to make it home on time for Happy Days.
Yes.
You finish your dinner, finish your homework, Happy Days comes on. Then Laverne and Shirley.
So now it's Bottom of the Glass Nation,
Right.
Garage
Right,
Show.
you know
I
where
think
you're going to
that's
be. You're
where
going
it
to be
came
there
from.
on time, and we kind of stay consistent about that. So you're right. We've gotten the only thing that I wish we hadn't lost in the process,
What's that?
the Big Show.
I know. We did. Yeah.
Now, not everybody knows what that is, but that was really where we got our start on live streaming. And it
the
was so much fun.
Logistics and everything
It's
is
tough.
very difficult to figure out how to do that.
Setting up lighting, setting up microphones, it's just in the garage, it's always too hot and you got to have fans on. But if the fans are on, then the microphones hear the fans and you got to bring some lighting out
Yeah,
there.
it's just
It's tough.
It took like 2 hours to set it up and 2 hours to break it down, and
Yeah.
however long the Big Show. It was a big project
You'd almost have to have a second set
just for that.
of lights and microphones just for that you could set up and put away. Not bring back out here and hook up back where it goes in the studio. Just
I know.
like a portable unit you could set up and
Too
tear
bad
down.
you guys couldn't do it like where you sit. Like you could put him next to you somewhere and have two
But
cameras.
I'm sitting, and I always thought the show was always a standing
Yeah,
show.
but you always said you couldn't stand very long, So
Yeah,
why
that's
you're
true.
comfortable there? Why couldn't you put the kid next to you and do it all here? on camera.
If we got rid of this Mac computer in front of me, put another mic on a stand, you did your part of the Big Show from there,
Yeah.
and put just two cameras facing here, we'd probably set the whole thing up just
I
like
think
that.
we should try and give that a shot. I think that would be really fun to do. At least once
Once a month, yeah.
We both get, we're on the same thing. That
Same
was good.
page, man. Same
Yeah.
page.
So do you have a car story this week? You haven't done one in like 2 weeks, maybe 3. I don't know. I can't remember. I lost count. It's been so long. I don't know when it happened.
Shut your pie hole. Jesus. You know what? I don't even have a car story. I know it's going to be a bad thing. I was getting ready to go through my memory when the computer went down, when the kids cut the power off.
Okay, let me
Hi.
see if I can get into your memory.
Okay.
Did you ever have a car that just drove you up a wall personally? Like just broke down all the time or caused problems, or it had something that you just couldn't figure out?
Yeah, every mechanic has that. Every mechanic has a car you just
Your
keeps
Eleanor.
coming back. Your Eleanor, yeah. Keeps coming back and you can't fix it. I've had more than one.
But is there one that's like standing out, and do you remember what it was? What the problem was?
Yeah, the one that pops into my head was one of the simplest cars to fix ever.
What was that?
A mid-'80s Chevy truck with a small block Chevrolet engine, 350 in it.
Okay.
Throttle body injection, basically regular distributor, super simple, not over smogged. One of the simplest ones to ever figure out and do. And I spent off and on this. I could get this thing to run right. This engine would run smooth. It would accelerate. It would do everything it's supposed to do. Give it back to the customer. Say, drive it around the block. You drive it around the block. Drive it on the freeway. Come back. Pay me. And maybe 4 days after just driving it, he'd come driving it in, and it just sounded like shit. It wouldn't accelerate. It was popping. It was missing. And you'd start at the beginning. You pull all the spark plugs out. You run compression on the motor real quick. Cylinders have good compression. And you check your distributor timing. And you see if there's anything loose, anything worn. Are the spark plug wires rubbing against something hot? Is there a vacuum leak that just all of a sudden showed itself? You do all these things. And, when it's running shitty, is it blowing smoke out the back with a blown head gasket? What's going on? And I do things to it. I'd clean it all up. I'd reset the timing. I'd blow out the cylinders. I'd change the spark plugs one more time just to make sure it starts running good. I set the base idle. I drive it around. Everything's good. The customer drives around. Everything's good. He goes on his way. A week later, he comes back at running like shit. And this one particular one, you could work. I could work on these things with my eyes closed. I could literally just get my tools and work on it. I know where everything is. And I even got so far. This was in the early days of computer modules. There really weren't a lot of thinking computers at that time. There a little bit. And I was replacing modules, thinking maybe there was a computer problem that would reset. I was fixing all the ground straps all over it, scraping the paint down to shiny metal and making sure the ground straps were good to the computers, the grounds were good to the distributor. I want to make sure the engine was grounded to the frame, the engine was grounded to the body was grounded to the frame was grounded to the battery, the engine was grounded to the battery. I mean, making sure I was going to extremes. And one of the simplest engines that I would ever be able to work on, that even today I would say I can fix whatever's wrong with that, I can fix it no matter what. I kept thinking that. This particular engine, I got so frustrated, I pulled the top part of the engine apart. I pulled the heads off, sent them to the machine shop. Wanted to make sure the valves weren't hanging up in the guides. So they did a valve grind on it for me. They made sure they knurled the guides and made sure that everything was perfect on the heads, rebuilt the heads, put it back on. While it was apart, I was checking the pistons. I was checking the clearance and the cylinders, making sure that the pistons weren't getting hot and swelling up and dragging on this thing. You got to remember, this thing had run 160,000 miles just fine. All of a sudden,
it just stopped.
All of a sudden, it's acting up once in a while on me. And this particular one, I remember the vehicle, I remember the owner, I remember everything. I never did quite get it right. Never did. It was years of off. Now it got better. It got to where the guy would drive it for a few months and come back. Same problem.
Weird.
But I just couldn't get. I don't know what it was.
So you have no idea till
I
this
have
day.
no idea to this day what was going on with it, and I couldn't tell you how I made it run better. I just kept doing a bunch of stuff and changing things and checking things and double checking and resetting and clearing codes and going. And then the thing would start running better, and the way it went. And I couldn't tell you what made it run bad when it came back. I do not know to this day.
Wow.
I'll tell you, I got so desperate that there was an electrical problem that I was taking apart fuse blocks and cleaning the fuse blocks and putting in new fuses so there'd be nice shiny contact. Oh, I was trying everything. And I never did figure it out. And thanks for bringing up a very painful memory. That was horrible of you. But yeah, there's been a few cars.
So you're not perfect.
No, not even close. There's probably been 6 cars in 30 years of working on cars that I couldn't quite get right, and I don't know why. Maybe 6. Maybe just 5 or 6. Normally, if I stay at it long enough, I will figure it out. But there's been a few that have just been a handful of them that just go like, oh my God.
Well, that's a pretty good track record because you've worked on
thousands
of cars.
But it's the ones, you don't remember all your victories, but you can remember with remarkable clarity your biggest defeats.
That happens.
And so, yeah, that's about the only thing I can say. So just so you guys know, if you have a problem car and you take it to a mechanic, don't assume it's always a slam dunk. Mechanics struggle. And I saw a Facebook reel the other day of this guy, and he was amplifying. I don't know. He was exposing or showing people how mechanics think. And this guy's, it shows him in like time lapse quickly. He's like, I did this to my car. I did this to the engine. I pulled this. I did this. I tried that. I did this. I still can't get it. I can't get it here. Can't get it there. The next day doing this, all these things. And it shows him at 3:00 in the morning, sitting up in bed and going, oh my God, I know what it is. I've done that.
You have done that on multiple occasions.
I have done that.
You've scared the crap out of me.
And I jump out of bed and I write stuff down. I'll tell you one that happened, 20 years old. And this is going to sound stupid, but a boss that I worked for it was an air conditioning company. And I was working on the fleet of trucks, and the boss brought his personal vehicle in. And he needed the belt changed, the serpentine belt, and I changed it. But serpentine belts go in a specific direction, and usually there's a little diagram, a sticker under the hood. So if you over this pump, under that pulley, around here, then you know how. Because there's a sticker for a reason. Because it's difficult. There's so many of them. If you don't know, it'd be very hard to know every car. And if you're smart, you'll look at it before you take it off and try to remember real quick. And I didn't.
Oh shit.
And there was no cell phones back then. There was no books even on it. Now they print books, or they did have books on serpentine belt routing and timing belt marks. They had books you could buy there was nothing back then.
Uh-huh.
And this boss was leaving for like Palm Springs for the weekend.
Uh-oh.
Ended up having to rent a car because I couldn't put his belt back on.
Oh, my God.
I know. I think I was 20.
He probably went, oh, man.
He was so mad. And I remember going home and taking a spiral notebook and drawing the pulleys and trying to figure out which way the belt. I had like 40 pages of me drawing and drawing and drawing, trying to figure out which way the belt would work. And I couldn't even draw it out. And then all of a sudden, at like 2 a.m, I woke up and went, I got it. Ugh. And I ran out to that notepad and I drew something real quick. The next day I raced in there and I was right. But that's when I thought of it for routing the belt. And the owner went to Palm Springs. He didn't fire me, but he came close. He came really close.
Well, it was his personal vehicle.
Yeah, and it was just, I couldn't believe that there was no sticker.
Wow, we got 2 stories.
Something had happened on the sticker where there was no sticker, so I couldn't do it. I drove that day when I couldn't get it. I drove around all over town to gas stations and parking lots looking for a vehicle like his.
So you can lift up the hood?
Yes, I was going to ask somebody if I could lift up their hood and please look under their hood real quick. I drove everywhere.
Yeah, they probably were like, you weirdo.
I couldn't find one to go look at, believe it or not.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was just dumb, terrible. I felt sick to my stomach over that shit. It was bad. So I don't know if that counts as a car story, but there you go.
Hey, before we go, is today the longest day of the year? Longest daylight of the year, June 20th? Oh, it's tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Tomorrow is the longest day.
Daylight.
Daylight, right. Yeah, for where
we are.
Right.
Holy mackerel.
You'll know that because I'll just keep looking at you going, this day's never done. This is the longest day to be with you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Can we be done now?
Yeah, see, that's what I'll be saying all day tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we didn't count the first time we were on the air, but the second one has gone 1 hour and 25 minutes.
Wow. We did really well.
Yeah, and I have to go try to blend the two together.
You could do it. I have faith in you.
I hope that it recorded at least the audio portion correctly. If it did, I think we'll be okay.
All right. Well, that's cool. It was great spending the morning with you.
I'm hungry.
So what else is new? Have I done any Gen X Talks works today? No, none whatsoever.
No.
But yet, you have to be fed for the second time today.
Yeah, isn't that my job, is to sit here and try to keep, I got a list.
What about my job?
What is your job? Your job is to keep your man happy. That was in the marriage vows. I don't know if you remember that or not.
No, don't.
Because you were drunk at the time, but you said yes, and you agreed to all those things. I know you say, well, I was drunk, I don't remember. I don't care. You do. It was in there.
Why don't you get up and go make lunch?
Well,
Let me get my phone. I can make you lunch.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of this.
Here we go. No, we're done.
No, we're not.
Nope, it's done. And we're done.
We're not done.
We're out.
No. Because I know that there's women all over the world that do this. You skip over text that you don't want to answer. If we send you guys something, you just want to, you just ignore it. And eventually we'll send another text and you'll reply to that one. You'll skip over the text.
What is your beef? What did
you
you now?
You'll skip over the image because my phone had a little report that came up on my phone.
Okay.
And it says this last week, I think it's a weekly report. I don't even pay attention to it, but it popped up on my screen and it said, just so you know, this last week, you have used your phone 2 hours and 17 minutes less than the previous week.
Okay.
So I screenshot that and I sent it to you going, look, I'm not always on my phone because you say I'm always on my phone. So I'm not on my phone. Look at that. A proof I'm not on my phone. And what did you do? You skipped right over it.
Yeah, because most of it you were driving this last week.
So what does that have to do with
you weren't on your phone.
Yeah, still winner.
Oh my goodness, no.
Victory lap.
Yeah.
And you skipped over it.
I did because it was ridiculous. I was like,
it's a proven fact. You can't argue with Android.
Oh, I can.
No, because it's true. And you just, this is why our marriage doesn't work. Because when I come to you with my little accomplishments like that, my baby steps that I was off my phone last, I'm like a dog that brings a little bird to the back porch that he killed, waiting for you to scratch my head and my ears and tell me good job. And all you do is ignore me.
For that, absolutely.
That's why our marriage doesn't work.
Okay.
It's stuff like that.
All right.
All right. Well, whatever it is, time to say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for listening in. Not sure where you're listening in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius, XM. or perhaps along the Armed Service Radio Network. Thank you. If you had an hour and 20 some, it's probably going to end up being like 2 hours now. If you had 2 hours of your day to waste, we're sure glad you chose to waste it here with Gen X Talks. And I'm going to hang up right now.
Bye. Thank you for listening.
Oh, you did say goodbye already, didn't you?
I said goodbye to Gracie.
Oh, well, that's good enough. All right. Remember those two things. One, wherever you go, there you are. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side.